Uh-oh. Yeah. It's Mercy. Music by Mercy again. Heat Nation. We the culture. Yo, E, I need you to call timeout. Need Brady to set the floor plan. Tropical blanket. Open for the shot. Yo, Greg, set the pick. Still 5 on the floor. Still ride for my dog. Still battle on the court. Still survive in the war. Keep your eye on the ball. Or get burned from the keep this mic off the wall without turning the cheek. From night to day, no sleepy paths or allowed to morning. The nut is sleeping us. Never catch us snoring. Live from Miami. Report in the heat with 5 Reasons Sports from the courts to the streets. Yeah. Wake County, Heat Nation, we say it proudly.
Welcome to 5 on the Floor, a daily insider show on the Miami Heat and the NBA, featuring Ethan Skolnick, Greg Sylvander, Alex Toledo, Brady Hawk, and others from the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Also, make sure to subscribe to Off the Floor for the most heat anywhere.
Welcome back to 5 on the Floor Live. I'm your host, Greg Sylvander. Tonight's floor plan with me, Digital Adele. We're keeping you company during this homestand. We're going to dissect the Miami Heat's victory against a really subpar Brooklyn Nets team. We're going to talk about it in the context of how valuable of a victory is it. We'll update you on the playoff standings. There's all kinds of fun stuff that we will talk about. Before we do, you know I'm starting the show by shouting out Off the Floor. That's our Discord server, $2.99 a month. That's going to get you the most heat anywhere. I always say it, but I'm emphasizing it as we come down the home stretch. 6 weeks to go in the season. You can consolidate all of your social media, Miami Heat focus and presence in one place. Get every link that's pertinent, every article that's pertinent. You're going to get opinions from people, good discussion. It is respectful discussion most of the time. $2.99 a month. Check it out. The link is in the description of this episode. That is our Discord for the most heat anywhere. Check out Off the Floor. Also, I'm shouting out Prize Picks. I was lamenting to Adele prior to the show starting that I was 8 points away from Nick's. If Nick Claxton had scored 8 instead of 4, I would have turned $5 into $115 on Prize Picks. That was with a 6-pick power play. You can do that too, but you got to use the code 5, F-I-V-E. That'll get you $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup, just like I played tonight. A $5 lineup can really get you in great position. I feel like that's, I don't even know the percent total in terms of increase when you turn 5 into 115. I'll have to do that math on an off segment. Take Bam over on his field goal attempts. There's my advice. Prize Picks. Use that code 5. All right. We paid the bills, Adele. The Miami Heat get a win, 124-98, convincing fashion, as it should be, against the sub 500, 14 or 15 win Brooklyn Nets team. Miami's now 22-8 against sub 500 teams this season. This is one they had to get. They've got 2 games consecutively against Brooklyn. And we've arrived at this place where the Heat lost in Milwaukee. I didn't like it. They lost in Philadelphia, and I didn't like it. And then Norm went out week to week. And I really thought that this was going to be the precursor to a little bit of a slide. And in typical Heat fashion, Adele, they're doing absolutely the opposite so far. A really good win against Houston. This game, we're going to talk about how we need to qualify it in terms of what kind of victory it is. But ultimately, they are, I think, about a half game out of the 6th seed as we finish tonight. Philadelphia is getting waxed by San Antonio. Orlando got a win tonight. They're in a virtual tie with Miami at the moment. Your thoughts on the game tonight? We'll get into the overarching implications with standings and all that fun stuff. But let's boil it down to just this game. Tell me what you saw from this Heat team, because as much as I want to say this was a good victory, and there are good things, we're going to get to them in our segment. Brooklyn sucks.
Yeah, they're not a very good team. I mean, they're last in the league in points per game. They're last in the league in rebounds per game. They're last in the league in field goal percentage. They're 27th, so third worst in 3-point shooting percentage, and they're third worst in defensive net rating.
Oh.
They are awful. And so those numbers really bore itself out tonight. If you look at what Brooklyn did, I mean, they shot 38.4% from the field, and they shot 18.8% from three. And they also had 18 turnovers. So they're just a really young, really bad team at the moment. So this is one that Miami had to win, and tomorrow they better win the next one as well against Brooklyn, because those numbers are abysmal. And the Miami Heat in that first half particularly did not play a very good game. Like, Bam played a good game. Tyler had a good game. But as a whole, that first half was pretty dreadful.
Yeah. And also the third quarter, Brooklyn played Miami even in that quarter. There was 22-21, actually. Miami outscored them by 1. But I thought that Brooklyn competed for stretches, but Miami had relative control of a game that we can't say this too often. They had absolutely more talent than their opponent tonight.
Yeah, by a lot.
Showed itself. Bam continues to play really well. That's going to be the theme of where I go with this episode. I'm interested to hear in the comments what they're taking from tonight's game. We'll get to some of those as we go. But let's start out with the Insurance by Lynette aggressive player of the night. That'll give us the opportunity to unpack not just Bam's performance, because there's a couple other guys that deserve a shout tonight. Let's get to it.
Absolutely.
And now it's time for the A-Aggressive Insurance Player of the Night, sponsored by our friend Lynette. You can find her at insurancebylynette.com. That's with 2 N's and 2 T's, insurancebylynette.com. If you need car insurance, renter's insurance, homeowner's insurance, or any other type of insurance, she's the person to go to. Based in Lauderhill, she services the entire Tri-County area here in South Florida, and she will make sure to get you the best deal. She'll probably talk to you about the Heat while you're at it. Reach out to her, insurancebylynette.com. And now, the player of the game.
The commenters on YouTube, shout out to them who join us live for our audio-only podcast listeners. They're already saying that it'd be quite the shocker if I'm going to talk about Bam. I won't wax poetic tonight. Adele, what did you see? Who were your top players of tonight's game as we usher in the segment from insurancebylynette.com? Oh, mute.
This is becoming a episode occurrence. Once an episode, I'm on mute.
That's okay.
Bam Adebayo, I mean, 23 points. He had 9 rebounds and 6 steals. I mean, did career high 6 steals. He did a little bit of everything tonight. I mean, he was doing spin moves, which he never does. He'd dunk it on people. Bam was feeling good today. He set the tone. Tyler Hero, he played really well. His ability against this team in particular to score in the paint was noticeable. Those floaters were really working around the basket. Tyler's developed a little bit of a trash talk game going on.
I was going to say that. I'm glad you mentioned it.
He's John Claxton. Yeah. I mean, he's been hanging out with Myron Gardner. I think I saw somebody say that. Brady Hawk, maybe. He must have been hanging out with Myron.
He better be careful. I know that he talked trash to Amen Thompson as well earlier. Somebody eventually is going to check him on some of that, but
Amen tossed him on his head once already, so I don't think it was Amen. He was talking to Durant last game. He was talking to Durant.
Oh no, Durant for sure, but Amen even before that. So like,
okay. Yeah, he wanted to get tossed again.
not in the last game against Houston, but in a prior game, I think.
Oh, got you. I got you.
It's I'm just connecting all the dots. You're right. He is getting a little more chippy and a little more.
Yeah. Absolutely. Jaime Hawkins Jr. I cannot let it go by without talking about Jaime, again, I've said this time and time again this season. The Miami Heat do not work without Jaime Hawkins Jr. in any capacity, because when the starters go out of the game, there's no drop off in production, because Jaime becomes your de facto ball handler, and all the actions are for Jaime to get downhill, make the right read, and facilitate. And he plays terrific defense. He had that one sequence early in the game where he blocked Danny Wolf twice, and Wolf was like, "What?" Like
Right.
he didn't realize Jaime had hops like that. And so he had those 2 blocks. He had 4 assists and 5 rebounds to go with his 20 points. Super efficient night for Jaime Jaquez Jr.
It's interesting because we always say, like, when Tyler came back, it seemed like Jaime took a back seat because there was a situation where Norm was leading the first unit. Tyler kind of led the second unit, and Jaime got forgotten. Now Norm is out. Tyler has been inserted into the starting lineup. Jaime sticks in his role. And you're right. Like, I think if you had started the season and said that Jaime Jaquez would be the key to this Heat team kind of being their best selves, most Heat fans would have rolled their eyes at that because Jaquez had such an indifferent year last year. He's really bounced back in a big way. For him to still be, and I've polled this with a few league personnel as well, Jaquez is in the conversation for 6th man of the year. He ain't going to win because the Heat aren't good enough, and he hasn't had that good of a season. But he's at least in that pool of players that you think about as a top off the bench guy. And I think it's a role they can continue to build on for him. So I'm with you there. Sure. The Heat are going to go, at least this version of the Heat are going to go to some extent as far as obviously Bam, Tyler, Norm, but Jaime as well takes them. I also wanted to just quickly shout out Kel'el Ware. When you look at him from a box score perspective, and y'all know how I feel about box score watchers.
Right.
11 points, 13 rebounds, 5 steals, no blocks tonight. 5 of 8 from the field. I still didn't love what I saw from him. People are going to get angry.
No, not at all.
Picking on him. Can you articulate what it is that because tonight I just feel like the energy wasn't necessarily there as the stats started to accumulate and the score started to widen in terms of margin between the two teams. He got into somewhat of a better groove, but it was against basically lackluster non-competition. When the game was in the balance, I didn't love his minutes. Your thoughts on Kel'el Ware tonight?
Yeah, Kel'el Ware is so talented, so mega talented that he's going to accumulate stats. So if you just box score watch, you're going to always see terrific stats. But he had no impact in that first half. No energy, no focus. That first half was terrible. And when you looked at his body language, I don't know what was going on with him. Maybe there was something in his personal life. I have no idea. Maybe he woke up late or just has a cold and we don't know about it. Like something was off. Like he just had no energy and no focus in that first half. Now, the thing about you got me with that one because Amir knows how I feel about Noah Clowney. I'm not a Noah Clowney fan. So no, yeah. So Kel'el Ware, he's going to always accumulate stats. It's just the way it is because he's 7 foot, super athletic, and really talented. But he wasn't really deterring shots around the rim. He wasn't going after rebounds. Yeah, I was not pleased with his effort. I didn't think he had a very good game tonight.
Yeah, the only saving grace is that he seemed to play through some of that stuff. 5 fouls too. Like, let's just be honest. Like, if he's getting 5 fouls, that's typically because his timing is off and stuff like that. So I don't want to nitpick on a night that they win by a ton, 124-98. Let me reiterate it. But I do think it's worth us talking about because I think fans at a distance, they're seeing Bam get vocal about wanting to play more with Ware. And I think that that's maybe wanting to understand the potential of that group. But I also think that Eric Spoelstra and the coaching staff needs to be given enough credit to understand that he ain't great every night and he doesn't bring necessarily that top tier competitiveness every night. And that's what they're trying to build upon. And that's stuff that won't show up in the stat sheet. And I think that sometimes the casual, and I don't mean casual in a bad sense, because some people are moving a mile a minute in their lives and they can't dissect every play. When you look at the box score, you're like another double for Kel'el Ware. And you wonder like why he doesn't play more. Tonight was one of those games where if you watched, you understood why. There were some plays that were really fun to watch. We're going to get to the mobile C-arm and staffing X-ray plays of the day.
And now it's time for the X-Ray of the Play of the Day, brought to us by our friends over at Mobile C-Arm and Staffing Services. Nelson and his team will bring the X-ray equipment and the staffing to you. If you work in a hospital or a medical office, get a consultation today at c-armandstaffing.com or give them a call at 561-891-9620. Their fleet of trucks at your service. Again, it's Mobile C-Arm and Staffing Services, 561-891-9620. And now, the X-Ray of the Play of the Day.
So I know that there's a few we could go with here. I'm going to make everyone roll their eyes and probably shout out a couple BAM plays. But Adele, I'll give you the floor first. Your favorite plays of tonight's Miami Heat's victory over the Brooklyn Nets.
I'm going to steal one of your BAM plays. And he was on a fast break, and he threw a pinpoint pass between two defenders to Andrew Wiggins for a fast break layup. Like, that's not something you see your big do every day. Like, it was a fantastic pass.
And then what did he do the next possession?
And then he blocked a shot out of bounds. So get that shot out of here.
And he talked some trash. And
no doubt,
everyone who doubted Bam, he's figuring it out. Ultimately, guess what, everyone? By the end of this season, when you poll the fan base about who the best player on the team was, guess who's going to come in first? Not who y'all thought it was, and it won't be the leading scorer. I'm being obnoxious on purpose. Bam had a lot of other, you mentioned the spin move. I wanted to mention that because when you start to see him do those things that you can tell he's not thinking. He's just like reading and reacting and going. It unlocks so much more. And I wish that was something that we could consistently figure out how to pull out of Bam. And maybe they'll tweak the offense in ways where he can look more like this every game next year. We'll see how that goes. He had some great plays tonight. There were a bunch of them that stuck out, but I want to shout out Pele Larson. He had a left-handed block.
Yeah.
Where if he didn't use his left, he would have fouled the crap out of who the hell was it?
It might have been Clowney.
I think it was Clowney or one of the other wings. I'm not sure who it was, so I can't give full credit because if it was one of the small guards, obviously it's easy to do that. But I don't think it was one of those guys.
No, I think it was Clowney.
Got a sick block. It was one of the best ones I've seen from him all year. And I think that as we start to look at playoffs or if it's not playoffs, if it's play-in matchups, and then as all Heat fans are doing at a macro level, looking ahead to what this team is building and who fits where. Eric Reed said something that I think resonated with me tonight on the broadcast. He said, Pele Larson is no longer penciled into the starting lineup. It is written in pen. And I think that's something we should consider when we talk about how this team is going to come together in the future. I have a feeling that it's going to involve having Larson in that starting lineup because he fits around these young players, but he also can fit around vets if that's what they continue to lean in to, this kind of hybrid version where you've got 3 or 4 good vets and then you're leaning really young. He's just a good fit in that. So I love that play from him. Any other plays we should shout out before we get out of here? We appreciate everyone joining on a kind of a nondescript game against the Brooklyn Nets in March. We understand it's not as sexy as the Charlotte Hornets matchup on Friday night. They're going to head up to Charlotte. Charlotte is a team that is on fire. I'm not going to be able to cover that game. Been a little under the weather. This week's not going to work, but I'll be there in spirit. That game is going to be really fun to watch for a number of reasons. This Nets game, not so much. Any other plays you got before we close up shop tonight?
Yeah, I got one more, and it was from Tyler Hero. This game was incredibly physical. Like, it was really physical, and that's why Pele Larson, I think, excelled at it because he's a super physical player. But Tyler, after he was chirping with Clowney, came down on the right wing, and Clowney was ready for the block. Like, it was just mano-a-mano, and Tyler threw this floater so high that Clowney had to even bail on the block attempt because the floater was so high. And he ran into him, no foul call, and it kissed off the glass and went in. It was a beautiful floater.
And Hero kind of flexed on him. If you go watch that play, it was after they had some words. And when Hero made it, he kind of like gathered himself and kind of did that little like, ugh.
Right.
Like, it was
right.
like just kind of
shrugged his shoulders a little bit.
Yeah, kind of reminding everyone that he got the best of him in that exact moment. I'm glad you mentioned it. They're going to need more of that. They're going to need it against Charlotte on Friday. Then they got so they've got Brooklyn again. Then they've got Charlotte. Then they've got Detroit on Sunday. So it's going to be a tough weekend. And I'm excited to see how they play against the Hornets with Khan out there, and LaMelo's playing in a little bit of a different role. Brandon Miller is having a bounce back season after injuries last year. So it'll be a fun matchup. Your thoughts on those two games as we close up shop here? I know that you are a huge Khan fan, so I'll ask you this as we close. Who guards Khan Knippel to start the game up in Charlotte on Friday night?
It'll probably be Andrew Wiggins. Yeah, I'm a huge Khan Knippel fan. I mean, he's fantastic. He's probably rookie of the year. Like, if we're
going to do the co thing, what do you think?
They could do the co rookie of the year. Flag's been fantastic the second half of the season as well so far.
Kidd and Hill got that. Has anyone else got that since then?
I'm not really sure.
That's of the year.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I think one other duo got it. I can't remember who it is, but I think it's more recent, like 2009 or 10 era, like somewhere in that era.
Gotcha.
But yeah, Khan Knippel, I mean, he's fantastic. I think Charlotte's way better than their record indicates. Like, Charlotte's realizing that Khan Knippel is like their best player, and they are really running offense through that kid. They're looking for him anytime he comes off screens and actions. Like you said, Brandon Miller's playing terrific, getting out and running. And as long as LaMelo Ball can rein in those tendencies from shooting 35-foot one-legged threes, they're pretty dangerous. But when he starts doing that, then, it kind of throws the game plan out the window. So it's going to be a tough matchup for the Miami Heat. Honestly, I mean, if the Heat don't make the playoffs outright, I think that's the play-in matchup to decide who goes to the playoffs.
And that would be an interesting one, because Charlotte is, as much as everyone kind of thinks of them as this young rebuilding team, they've all of a sudden morphed into a team that has bigger aspirations all of a sudden.
Yes.
And so as much as they'll be happy to get a lottery pick, if that's the way things trend and just continue to add to this, they also, I think, if you polled everyone around there, they need some playoff time. Like, they've gone so long without it. I think since Purple Shirt Guy with D Wade sniffed the playoffs in any capacity, longest drought in the league without a playoff series win, I think, as well. So it's about time for them. So they're coming for the Heat, and they want that 8 seed, 7 seed, whatever they got to get. It won't be easy. We will have it covered for you for sure. Thank you to Adele. We appreciate all of our sponsors. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Make sure you subscribe to Off the Floor, and we'll have you covered the rest of the week. The Heat get the victory, 124. What was it? 124-98. That's a beating. Yeah. Let's hope that they get one up in Charlotte. We'll see. Have a good night.